How much do you know about the origin and history of Burkina Faso and northeastern region of modern-day Ghana? Their history can be traced back to the Mossi Kingdoms, which included region now inhabited by the Mamprussi and Dagomba people in Ghana. The Mossi Kingdoms, sometimes referred to as the Mossi Dagomba or Mossi Dagana Kingdoms, were those Negro kingdoms which occupied the plains of the Upper Volta, now modern-day Burkina Faso. There were 5 principal Mossi Kingdoms: Yatenga, Wagadugu, Mamprussi, Dagomba, and Gurma. These kingdoms are known for their remarkable political stability and their ability to maintain their independence against the expansionist war of Old Ghana, Old Mali, and Songhai. Another outstanding characteristic of the Mossi Kingdoms is that they successfully resisted conversion to Islam and maintained their traditional religion. Today, the Mossi inhabit Burkina Faso, which cover an area of approximately 274,000 square kilometers and has a population of about 23.8 million. Additionally, approximately 554,000 Mossi people lived in modern-day northern and upper east region of Ghana. Little is known of the origins of these kingdoms. According to some local traditions, the Mossi Dagomba peoples have a common descent. Their customs and cultural institutions have many common features, and their language belongs to the Gurma group of West African languages. Historians hold the view that the land of the Mossi was originally inhabited by primitive Negro people who lived in small separate communities. About the 10th century AD, the native inhabitants were conquered by some invaders from an area of 8 days' journey east of Baku. The place referred to may be Hausa land. The new invaders were led by a Red King warrior called Tuaji, commonly called in Mossi legend the Red Hunter. He is claimed by tradition to be the ancestor of the Mossi. It is certain that the invaders were better armed and better organized than the aboriginal inhabitants. After the conquest, they settled down, intermarried with the native population, and were assimilated by it. Tuaji's grandson Bewa set up a kingdom in the area around Baoku, which became the Mamprussi Kingdom, the earliest and first of the Mossi Kingdoms. From Mamprussi, the descendant of Bewa, perhaps following disputes about the succession, emigrated to other areas, where they founded the Mossi Kingdom of Dagomba in the south and Wagadugu, Yatenga, and Gurma in the north. Thus emerged the 5 principal kingdoms of the Mossi Dagomba peoples, with Mamprussi the earliest, Wagadugu founded about 1050 AD, Yatenga about 1170 AD, Gurma, which dates unknown, and Dagomba. Today, Wagadugu, Yatenga, and Gurma are in the modern-day Burkina Faso, and Mamprussi and Dagomba in modern-day Ghana. The Mossi are known in history for their military prowess and infeasibility, tenacity of purpose, and political coherence. The Mossi of Yatenga are said to have raided Timbuktu in 1330 AD during the reign of Mansa Kanka Musa, who ruled from 1309 to 1332. In West African history, the Mossi constituted a dangerous threat to the Songhai Empire. In 1477, the Mossi king of Yatenga was fighting against Sonny Ali the Great and raided Walata in 1480. They were, however, soon driven back to Mossi country. Askia the Great restricted the Mossi beyond the southern limits of the Songhai Empire, but never conquered them. The social organization of the Mossi society was hierarchical, with the royal family at the top, followed by the nobility known as Nakomse, who were typically state officials and their descendants, and the common people Tauga, including those descended from freed slaves. Despite this stratification, there was strong cohesion across all classes, facilitated by the cooperation between political leaders and the Tengdana, the spiritual head of the Earth court. This collaboration ensured that both political and spiritual functions were complementary and harmonious throughout the community. The Mossi King, at the top of the political hierarchy, had a court of officials, including provincial governors. 4 key governors had significant role in the capital: Prime Minister, head of the cavalry, head of the infantry, and caretaker of royal tombs. Many officials were of slave origin and served as kingmakers, choosing the successor from the king's son. To avoid succession disputes, eligible sons lived with their mothers in regional palaces. Below the provincial governors were district heads and hereditary local chiefs who collected taxes for the king. 5 grades of courts operated in a hierarchical order. These were from the lowest, the ward's head's court, the village head's court, the district or canton chief's court, the court of the provincial governor, and the king's court, which had supreme judicial authority. There was provision for appeal from a lower to a higher court. The Mossi army consisted of the infantry division under the Tapsoba, master of the bow, and the cavalry under the Widinaba. The infantry wing was made up of archers and musketeers and was formidable in battle, especially when supported by the cavalry wing. The principal occupation of the Mossi was subsistence farming. Such crops as cereals, roots, and legumes were cultivated. There were also village farming cooperatives comprising young men and women. These associations played an important role in producing enough food for the population. Industries such as blacksmithing and weaving were practiced. Blacksmiths produced farm implements while weavers manufactured cotton cloths. The products of farm and industry were sold in village markets, which were held every 3 days. There were market chiefs or inspectors who collected a tithe of these articles for the priest chief. Foreign trade was highly developed among the Fota kingdoms. They acted as the middlemen between the forest kingdoms of the south and the Sudanese kingdoms to the north. They traded with Dahomey, the Gold Coast, modern-day Ghana, and Ivory Coast in the south, and with Jenne, Timbuktu, and other commercial cities of importance in the western and central Sudan. Imports from the north included bars of salt, and from the south, kola nut and cowries. Export to the south consisted of horses, cattle, donkeys, sheep obtained from the north, slaves and farm implements, copper bars, and colored native cotton clothes. To the north, they exported gold, slaves, and kola nut obtained from the south. Royal wealth came from the customary gifts. Royal slaves told levied on all goods passing through the kingdoms and dues paid in cattle during traditional ceremonies. The Mossi successfully preserved the security of their fertile homeland against external aggressors for centuries, resisting incorporation into the great Sudanese empires. Their political stability was due to their religious traditions of ancestor worship, which unified various tribes. The Mossi political system featured a centralized government with a separate hereditary kingship and an electoral college of slave origin officers, ensuring continuity without internal threats. The Mossi rulers maintained cultural identity by not attempting to rule over alien peoples and conducting raids without prolonged occupation. They controlled immigrant activities to prevent subversion and developed a strong military, making them invincible. Their martial spirit and refusal to adopt Islam, maintaining no direct links with North Africa, further contributed to their stability. The Mossi Kingdom shows how some African countries had very stable and effective government before European colonization. This stability highlights the importance of the Mossi in West African history. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the history of the Mossi Kingdoms, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel for more African history content and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest videos. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below and share this video with friends who love history.